Hello everyone and welcome. So in this video I'm going to try to demonstrate how to calculate the price of an item. In this case let's do mortar. So when I click here I go to the screen and first thing to see here is the ingredients. You can select one of the several recipes that can be used to create mortar. In this case I'm going to select masonry mortar, which is done at the masonry table, and what it tells me is the basic recipe. So if I craft one, it will cost me one sand, and if I price the sand at one, it will cost me one banana total. Okay, so if I craft 10, obviously it's gonna use 10 sand, and it's gonna be a total price of 10 bananas, one banana each iteration of the recipe. So going into here, the average price is here is the same thing that is already explained in the previous video, but over here you can, like, if you don't know how much or how should we price sand, this can help us. Like, we can see what's the price that this item, in this case sand, is being sold by other players. So in this case, this run, there is Casitatis selling 298 at this moment for zero point 0.1 bananas. So I'd say zero point 0.1 or maybe 0.15 would be a good price for it in this case. To make it simple, let's just keep it at 1 for now. I could click here to automatically set it, but yeah, I can also edit it here directly. So now going into a bit more detail on this craft amount and upgrade module, what does it do? So in case you don't know, modules here are applied to tables, and when they are applied to tables, some recipes cost less. So for instance, if you apply a module 1 in the masonry table and you go and craft the masonry mortar recipe, it has a 10% discount. So instead of the 10 sand, if you apply a module 1, it will only cost you 9 sand, which will in turn reduce the unit cost for each iteration of the recipe. Bear in mind that if you craft 1, it's 0.9, but it rounds up to 1, so if you craft 1 you won't get any benefit for using the module. So you should usually craft either 10 or maybe 100. For instance, in this case, module 1, it's exactly the same. If using, like, if you check here, unit price is exactly the same, so there's no benefit in crafting 100 at the time. But if you use module 2, there is a benefit. So it's 0.8, or if you craft 100, it's 0.75, so it's like a little bit of margin that you can make if you craft 100 of them at once. So this is what it's made for, so that you can set how many recipes are you going to craft at once. And over here you select which module you use on the table that you are crafting this recipe. So for instance, module 5 is a 50% discount, so it will only cost you 50, which would make the cost for each iteration of the recipe 0.5. Okay, so over here it's like the sum up of the numbers that are up here, which in this case is the same because there is only one ingredient, but there are recipes where there are multiple ingredients that this makes sense, which is like the sum up of everything here. So now that we calculated the price, for instance, it's 0.5, the cost of production, okay, we can go here and select how many does the item will cost. So 0.5 is how much it costs each recipe, but each recipe gives me 3 mortar, right? So in this case, I would price each mortar at 0.17 bananas, so that in total it will be 0.5, the 3 of them. Also, I will explain this cost percentage in another video, and yeah, and like I can also add some margin here, so it will increase over here instead of like give me a 10% margin for food calories that are not accountable and for like time investment and such. And I can use like here or here to just set the price.